Radio.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Aftershock, where I'm going to be giving you the latest and greatest in all things Web3 and in the metaverse. Now, the last week was definitely an interesting one as we head into the month of February. Got lots of really interesting stories that have come out. And so without further ado, we're just going to get right into it. We're going to look straight first at the Aftershock.
The Aftershock.
So this week's first story comes with Silvergate. Silvergate faces DOJ investigation over FTX and Alameda dealings. Now, the crypto bank hasn't been accused of any wrongdoing, but prosecutors want to see how deep the dealings between the crypto bank and FTX went. So the crypto bank Silvergate is reportedly being probed by United States Department of Justice fraud unit over its involvement with bankrupt FTX exchange and its affiliates. The probe is investigating Silvergate's hosting of accounts linked to former FTX CEO Sam Bankman-Fried's businesses. And that comes from a report from Bloomberg from February 3rd, and it cited people familiar with the matter. And the California-based crypto bank is not accused of any crime, but investigators are attempting to discover how deep the dealings with FTX and Alameda went. As FTX continues to unfold, we're going to get more and more information that's going to come out. Now, the diligence that's going to be put into securing all the information that has to do with this court case when it eventually does go to court is going to take a long time. There is a lot of discovery that's going to have to come across. And on that path, there's going to be, unfortunately, a lot of companies that get in the crosshairs of the people that are being involved in this case. So I think this is going to be yet another company that's going to be directly impacted. And as the DOJ, Department of Justice, gets looked into, who knows what that could, the ramifications could be from that. USDC, which is Circle, one of their main banks is Silvergate. So a stable coin to be on the lookout for. Not sure if it's going to have really big implications, but something to keep in mind nonetheless. So the next article that we're going to be looking at is the EuroPeg stablecoin powered by Ethereum launches in Finland. So fiat-backed euros join the growing list of stablecoin offerings that have received regulatory approval from the EU authorities. Now, yes, for a lot of Americans here, everything doesn't necessarily settle in the United States dollar. So stablecoins like USDC and Tether, et cetera, that do peg back to the dollar, you're seeing more of these stablecoins that are pegged to the euro. Finnish company Membrane Finance has released a fully reserved stablecoin backed by the euro, according to a February 2nd blog post from the company. The company is licensed by the Finnish Financial Supervisory Authority, which targets to reduce complexity of converting and paying in volatile cryptocurrencies. I think it's really encouraging to see European countries try to stabilize the crypto markets by providing a stable coin that can be trusted. And looks like Finland is trying to take some of the first steps to get that accomplished. So we'll continue to watch this. I think there's probably going to be more stable coins that come out into the future, but this is hopefully a good first step as a euro-based stable coin hits the market. Our next article looks at MicroStrategy saying no plans to stop trading Bitcoin as a paper loss hits 1.3 billion. So MicroStrategy has booked a loss of 34 million on its first ever Bitcoin sale last quarter, but said it conducted to harvest a tax loss. The software analytics company MicroStrategy recorded a paper loss of over $1 billion on its Bitcoin holdings in 2022, but it's not planning on stopping any trading Bitcoin. They are very bullish on Bitcoin. They are probably one of the most bullish companies as it relates to Bitcoin. They bought at the top, they bought all the way down, and looks like they're not stopping anytime soon. So this is either going to look, when we look back on history, this is going to be either one of the not smartest investments of all time, or could prove to be one of the greatest investments of all time, depending on the time horizon. So I think if MicroStrategy can survive this moment in time, they're going to turn out okay. I think that they, when you look at Berkshire Hathaway, which is Warren Buffett's company, and what he's been able to accomplish over the years, I think that MicroStrategy could have that type of moment if they can survive this moment, because they have a ton of Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin can get back to its all-time highs and even push higher, get to that six-figure price point, MicroStrategy is going to be sitting just fine. So um, it doesn't surprise me that although they have lost over $1 billion worth of assets, that they're still buying and they're still bullish. I'm still bullish on Bitcoin myself, so I get it. Next, I'm going to look at FBI seizing over $100,000 in NFTs from a scammer following the Zach XBT investigation. The seized property included a Bored Ape Yacht Club and Doodles NFT, 85.6 Ether, and a flashy Automator's Baguette watch that ultimately helped Zach XBT identify the alleged scammer. So the FBI seized 86.5 Ether and NFTs, and the person in question, Chase Cynical, also known as Horror HZ Online, was exposed via a lengthy investigation by an independent blockchain sleuth. Zach XBT posted back in September 2022. So the FBI's official notification on February 3rd outlined Seneca's property, including an Audemire's Baguette Royal Oak watch worth $41,000, was seized for federal forfeiture for violation of the federal law. So again, a lot of these scammers and people out here, there's more researchers out there that people can hire as investigators to look into these matters. And again, with crypto being on blockchain and someone having enough time and resources to go through each of these transactions, they can go back and find you. And just like this, looks like the FBI is getting involved and was able to go and seize a good amount of money to try to get justice for the scammer in this particular case. So as much as scamming is not fun, at least in the world of blockchain, you have a chance to hopefully get back some of that money, or at least bring that person to justice for having tried to scam you. Our next article is looking at Elon Musk, as Elon Musk eyes Twitter payments by looking at fiat first and crypto later. So Twitter's director of product management is reportedly designing the software needed to implement Musk's payment vision with a small team. The Financial Times reported Monday that the microblogging site has been applying for required regulatory licenses in the United States and is shaping the software needed to implement the payments plan. Musk reportedly wants the system to be fiat first and foremost so that crypto payments can be added at a later point. He intends to create an everything app. One is expected to be similar to China's WeChat for a suite of services like peer-to-peer payments and social networking and e-commerce shopping. This does not surprise me. That was actually the first thing that came to my mind when I first saw this headline. I was like, oh, he's trying to create WeChat. And for all of those who don't know the extent of WeChat is your everything app in China. Payments, messaging, you name it, you're able to do it within that application. He is trying to create that same type of all in everything application here in the States. And he has the mind and I think the team to try to make that a reality. So it'll be interesting to see how he's able to evolve the product. Hopefully it doesn't scare everybody away, because I also saw some news recently that he's trying to charge some of your top tier businesses $1,000 a month or more, which, good luck with that. But all the same, it's interesting to see where this roadmap's going to go and how we can try to turn Twitter into a profitable business. Our next article is going to be looking at Jack Dorsey. So Jack Dorsey backed Web3 app aims to disrupt Twitter. So Dorsey described Nostre's app launch as a milestone for open protocols. So the new decentralized social network protocol Nostr officially went live via mobile app stores on Wednesday. Nostr, which is spelled Nostr, which stands for notes and other stuff transmitted by relays, aims to create a censorship-resistant global social network where users are identified by public key rather than a name or user handle like most social platforms. It doesn't rely on any trusted central server, hence it is resilient. It is based on cryptographic keys and signatures, so it is tamper-proof. It does not rely on person-to-person P2P techniques. Therefore, it works. The GitHub page says. So what I think is interesting about this is really going after the pure decentralized angle. Now, Twitter's clearly centralized, and I don't think it's going to not be centralized anytime soon. I don't think decentralization is the aim or the focus. But Jack Dorsey, the old CEO of Twitter, is really trying to take that approach and create that decentralized experience for the community in Web3 and everything else. So I don't know if it's going to catch as much fire. I think there's always going to be some people that use it and that really like this, like the privacy and being undoxed and everything else. And I think that's really for that audience, but I don't think that that's the majority. So I am curious how that's going to compete really with Twitter in the long run, but time will tell, and we'll keep watching it. Our final article in Web3 Lightning Round has to do with Indonesia targeting its launch of a national crypto exchange by June. So Indonesia's financial services regulator had hoped to set the crypto exchange by the end of 2022, but it was delayed by a number of obstacles. So Trade Minister Zulkifli Hassan shared a new target launch date of February 2nd at the opening of Crypto Literacy Month in Jakarta, noting that the government is currently reviewing which companies meet the criteria to become part of the exchange according to local reports. There are 5 crypto exchanges that are currently registered with the country's regulators, and the ministry's crypto exchange could encompass all of them. So what's great about this is seeing crypto's borders continue to expand across the world as exchanges or providing accessibility for more citizens to go from their local fiat currency into cryptocurrency is allowing for that trustless, borderless type of monetary system that makes crypto as amazing as it is. So I think we will see more and more countries continue to evolve and allow for more marketplaces to be created, which also will allow for competition and also allow for various citizens to on-ramp into the crypto space. And I think it also allows them to off-ramp as well. So, for example, if you live in the States or you live somewhere else and now you want to potentially move to Indonesia, use your crypto to off-ramp into the local currency there, you now can legally do that. So again, I think this is a positive, and I think it's showing the ever-expanding footprint that Web3 is starting to have in the world. So that is going to wrap it for today. I hope you enjoyed this week's Aftershock and looking at last week in the metaverse. Plenty of stories that came across, a lot of really interesting ones. I think that we're starting to see more excitement build. In bear markets is when you see the builders come out and they start building really extensively. And I think that on the other end of it, you've seen people who've been building for the last 6 to 12 months, and they're ready to now bring these products to the world. I think Q1, Q2 is going to be really exciting with a lot of these newer projects that are going to be looking to launch. And I think as bullish momentum continues to come into the space, we will have more moments of excitement like this. So again, thank you all for coming and listening in. If you liked what you saw today, please make sure you subscribe. Please make sure you leave a like, leave some comments on some stories you like. If there's something in there that you didn't like or thought I needed correcting, feel free to share that with me too. I'm always down for some feedback. For all those listening to the podcast, thank you for tuning in. And if you haven't checked us out over on YouTube yet, make sure you go over there and check us out there too. But as always, hope everyone continues to stay cryptocurrent.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Cryptocurrent. Cryptocurrent is a cryptocurrency and blockchain education platform that's bridging the gap between the curious newcomers who are just discovering the space and the thought leaders who are shaping its future. All opinions expressed by Richard Carthon, the Cryptocurrent team, and their guests on this show are exclusively their own opinions. This show and any other Cryptocurrent production is exclusively for informational purposes.